Hola, today I'm documenting what I learned in SQL. I practice more questions, creating and inserting data. So before I began, I just run a simple query statement for the data I want to display. This simply helps me with clarity and helps me to avoid errors and helps me to use the right ID. So this is a habit that I'm still building. Okay, and once I'm done with that, I execute and then go through the tables very well. And once I'm done with that, I open a new query. So I begin with the first question. Like I begin with the first question. So using my select from, and remember you're supposed to select from the main table. Once you get the main table, you know what to do next. So my main table here is orders. So remember that I'm actually using sales BP. So I'll always use sales dots before the data that I'm trying to display. And I also learned it's also very good to use a nickname for your data to avoid errors because some tables might have the same name and SQL will tell you it does not exist or is invalid or you won't be able to query it successfully. So I do my left joins for the sales customer and then give it a nickname. So here is a big deal. Whenever you want to join, how to join properly, you need to start with the correct table. That is the main table. So my main table is actually orders. So I'm going to use orders for this. So orders dot customer ID, meaning I went to check on my order query and I took exactly what was there and put it here. That's what I did for the both of them. Remember the first query I did, the simple query before executing and proceeding with the main query, right? That's what I just did, and it's actually very simple. And the first task was to display order. I was done with that. The next task is to display customer's name. So when I checked on my query, that's the first one, I picked exactly the name that was there, the first and second name, and placed it. That's actually the next one. But I got a little bit confused here, and then I went back to my question and check what's the next task I'm supposed to solve. Is it product? And then it was not product. Is it customers? Actually, customers and product are working along each other, so I don't need to left join that one here. And because I already did that, remember? So I had to just check the names for the customers, and it actually has first and second name. So I had to add it here, first and second name. This is my second task, and after I was done with this, I just executed it and it gave me the answer. So before I executed, I did semicolon at the end and see I got my answer. The ID first and second name. The next one is actually product. So to join it, I have to use the word left join and then sales dot. Remember, I'm using sales before any other data I'm adding there, and then give it a nickname, which is very good to make your work clean and easy for SQL to access. So remember the main table is actually orders, right? So what was I asked to do here? It's just the product, right? Just product. So I gave it a new nickname I added name at the back of it so that it will make it look clean better. So this is my third tax. And then remember the main table is actually orders. So that's why I'm using orders. Orders.product ID. Remember I've already checked my first query I did for the statements to confirm the data. So I don't write like that. I go there and pick exactly the words, the alphabets, the way it is there and paste it here. That's how you write so that SQL will not tell you what you are doing is not going well and is invalid. And you see, I got the answer. Everything went well successfully. And then the next task was employees. So I had to come back here. See, this is what I work with. This is what I'm talking about. Come back here and confirm the data for employees. So I think I queried that several times. I did not get the exact name that is on the table inside SQL. So and I realized that forgot to use the word sales dot customers because I'm on sales BP, right? So I went ahead and put the word sales there, and then it actually did not work until I realized something was missing, and I fixed it. So see, SQL is actually careful with words. You also have to be careful with words. You can see the little tiny mistakes I just made that makes everything not working properly, but now it's actually good. So I'm still learning that little errors can actually make my SQL not to go well. So I already know the meaning of the feedback from SQL, and that's one of the things I'm still learning. Whenever I see the feedback, I know what to adjust. Okay, so I properly left join the employees. Remember using the main join. So I use a main join, and then you see I still made a little mistake here. So on the simple query statement I ran, it has um, this table, employees table, employee's name, and the employees actually has first and second name, which is first and last name. So I wrote out this down here, and I can actually query this thing like this. So even though I finished writing up the join using my main table, which is orders, you can see actually have double name here for first name and last name. So I have to give it a nickname so that SQL will know how to place my tables and not give me errors or trying to confuse me too, because I don't want to be confused. So done with the ID. I can't query it like this because SQL will be confused too. This is not how SQL works. So making sure I give them a name, a nickname for it. So you see, this query was not successful because I did not give this data a proper nickname that is using the word AS for the name. So I had to adjust it. So I adjusted each data, and you can see customer and employee, they both have the same name. That is first and last name. They both have the same thing. That is the reason why it's actually very good for you, for your clarity, for smooth work, smooth querying. It's actually good for you to do this all the time. me, even if it's I don't have a double name, I always use nickname to just make things easy, just in case I have a table somewhere that I don't know that it was actually existing. Remember, I did not do drop down if exists before beginning this query. You get it right? So, and then I tried executing it and it wasn't working properly. So I went back to check. This is employee's ID. This is what it looks like. And then in sales ID, what does it look like? What is the name called? Employee's name is called salesperson ID in orders. And remember, orders is the main table. So I went back and picked this name just the way it is here to my main query. So you can see in employees, the name is employee ID, but in others, it's actually a different name. You can see sales personal person ID. That's what it's called. So I had to go back to my main query and then adjust the name. That's all. So for others, I switch it from employee's ID to salesperson ID, and that was all I did here. So it's actually the same thing, employees ID, salesperson's ID. But for SQL to help you execute this properly, you have to follow the rules by writing down exactly what's on the table. And that's exactly what I did. I went to check it and then write exactly what I saw there. So that's what I learned for today. See you in the next one.